Well, let's discuss this now. A medical doctor from Basildon University, Femi OYEKAN, now joins us to discuss how Oxford University vaccine that paused after a participant fell ill. It's good to have you join us at this time, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you for having me part of this conversation.
Of course, a lot of countries are in the race to get a vaccine fast because of the death toll that has been recorded from the COVID-19 pandemic. But how close are we to developing a vaccine?
To be honest with you, we're very close to having a credible vaccine, considering the fact that we already have 9 vaccines that have reached the human trial phase, which is usually the most after now the process will be a little more speedy, so that we can get a vaccine that can be issued out on a mass scale. But one thing I want to make clear is the fact that the fact that we are having antibodies from this vaccine, and the fact that if you look at other vaccines that are coming up, the China one is a weakened form of the virus. The US one is an RNA modified form from the virus, while the UK one is the antibody. Now, all of these put together, what it means is there is light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark what is happening now is. So if you are having a human trial from every side, it means that we are marching in the right direction.
Very interesting point there. But looking at the shortcuts, the dirty tricks, that have been, some persons have raised, the issues that some persons have raised concerning the race to get a vaccine, what are your concerns really? Because we know that we're getting to the human trial test stage, but what really are your concerns if you look at the skepticism that people have shown forth when it comes to getting a vaccine, or even taking one when a vaccine is ready?
I'll say the skepticism comes from the fact that Russia, without prior experimental stage, no sample size, no modalities of conducting what the animal trial faced, and what part of the virus they're trying to modify to be able to make a vaccine, came up and said, we have the solution and we are willing to produce millions of them. So in a way that will raise skepticism, that will make it look like people putting financial gain ahead of human safety. But I think if you look at what the Oxford vaccine has just done, is the fact that this is the second time it will be having a pause, because one of the patients that volunteered for the trial came up with transverse myelitis, which is actually an inflammation of the spinal cord. And sometimes, let me make this clear, that sometimes there are people with already underlying condition that participate in a trial, that it's just because they are now part of the trial that they are now beginning to realize that I have another ailment that I did not know about, which may be totally independent of what the trial itself constitutes. So the purpose is to find out, is this an independent illness that this person has that we don't know about, or is it a complication of this vaccine that we are trying? So once that hurdle is we were able to clear that hurdle, then we can resume marching forward. But no doubt. But one thing I also want to add to this is the fact that WHO have just signed a document that all leading pack, I think WHO should be commended for this, all leading pack that are involved in leading vaccine must have signed that they are not going to allow the financial or political pressure to move them away from upholding scientific standards and human safety in order to be able to bring out a credible vaccine. Now, I think this is what we all expect from WHO from the outset, so that it's possible that pressure from people like United States, because election is on the way, might want to force some people to make mistakes. But this new document that has been signed by all leading vaccine producers is credible.
I was just about to ask you about the role of the WHO in, of course, stemming the tide of the pandemic. give us an overview of how you'd rate the WHO's response to seeing to it that this pandemic has been, if not taken out, at least stopped from killing more people in the world.
I'll say that I'll say this is my own independent assessment, and it has nothing to do with other regulatory bodies that have been part of WHO. At the moment, I'll say that WHO is doing incredibly well. But from the outset, when I said that, the fact that there was a delay in sending independent team to go and see what was happening in China, if the entire China possibly could have been advised to be on a shutdown so that this will not spread to any part of the world. That was when I possibly said, okay, no, WHO, I think we expected more from WHO, but in a way, at the moment, what WHO is doing, trying to ensure that whatever vaccine that is going to be produced is not going to be distributed based on financial power of a nation. That I think is wonderful. That assuming, let's say today we have a vaccine, America has the power to buy everything. But what WHO have stepped in to do is the fact that they're going to, if they're going to produce 1 million vaccine, all the countries in the world are going to have it according to their population and according to their number of incidents, not according to their financial power. Countries, you know that there are a lot of poor countries that may not even have the financial power to be able to wrestle for a very scarce commodity like what's it called, COVID vaccine. But what WHO have done is to serve as a moderator, a stabilizer, and I think they should be commended for that.
Medical doctor from Basildon University, Femi OYEKAN, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on TVC News.
Okay, thank you.